What about that? You should hear me now. I know you hear me now. Good morning. I hope everybody's doing okay. And appreciate you checking out the chat or checking out the stream, blah. But yeah, this is my new layout that I've been playing with. I have a couple other layouts I can do too. Like if I bring somebody else in, I want to play video, obviously game stuff, all of that. But figured I'd come on here this morning and continue tinkering with this live chat stuff until I 100% figure it out. I will say again, if you see one of my eyes and it looks all weird, it's like I've had a sinus infection this week and I'm still getting over all of that. But you know what? I was already ugly, so it doesn't matter. But happy to see everybody here. Crazy. It's like almost 100 people here already. So I do appreciate you hanging out. And yeah, man, I just wanted to just have a casual conversation about what's been going on. Obviously, all this week with gaming, we got more news this week about. Let me see if I can change that a little bit. I think that looks a little better. That should look a little better. Yeah, mess around with the lighting too. But obviously, Forza Horizon 5 yesterday. Not that it should have shocked everyone, but it shocked everybody. I swear to God, people are not believing or listening to the stuff that Phil Spencer has been saying, because he's been telling us no red lines. This is happening. And here we go. One of the key pillars of Xbox is now coming to PlayStation. And honestly, probably the best Xbox Series this generation's game has been Forza Horizon 5, right? Probably the most popular game, biggest population, all of that is now going to PlayStation. And I've seen the comments, you know, people are upset about the exclusivity aspect of it and all of that, but no, JK89, I've not been smoking anything. I'm literally recovering from a sinus infection. I just literally don't care. So, yeah, I know my eyes look weird, but it is what it is. But yeah, going back to Forza Horizon 5, I mean, I get people upset with the exclusivity thing and all of that, but ultimately more people get to play the game. And that's all that should ultimately matter, is more people get to play the game, more people get to have fun with it. And it's good. It's just, that's just where this is headed for Xbox. I think the Band-Aid has now been ripped and people just need to accept it, like it or not. And I think as far as the point about the hardware and all of that and the value of all the, I've talked about this already, but I understand people's frustration on that. But ultimately, this is what Xbox is going to do. And we just got to move forward. I would rather focus on the games that are coming than worrying about the hardware that's already been cemented in this generation. Obviously, next generation, we can have a completely different conversation about where you're going to choose to where you want to play your games. But Forza Horizon 5 coming is just a sign of what's about to happen. The floodgates are about to open. Expect Gears. Expect... getting a question on Discord. But expect Gears. Expect Halo. Expect everything. I mean, we're at a point that if the studios can support it, like, it literally would not shock me that when Fable comes out, it's day and date on PlayStation, right? I mean, timed exclusivity, in my opinion, really, it's just the limits of the studio being able to do that. So we'll obviously see where things go with all of this, but it's just, like I said, it's a sign of the future. And again, I appreciate everybody over here. Now it's over 100 people here, which is crazy to me. But let's see what the chat is saying. Here, MS needs to reveal a hardware and a Windows next gen. You know, I wouldn't be shocked if we get a sneak peek at this showcase coming up in June on what the potential future hardware could be. Not that it's coming this year, but very similar to what they did with Project Scorpio, which turned out to be the One X. I could see something like that. You know, maybe a little peek into their ideas about what a handheld could be. Maybe a peek into what they're going to do on the Windows side of it, right? Is it a hybrid device? Whatever the case might be. So, I mean, we'll see. Yeah, and I'm seeing someone saying that people need to realize that others having access to your stuff doesn't... Wait, your stuff doesn't subtract from your own personal experience on your platform choice. I'll keep buying Xboxes regardless. And that's what I mean. It's going to come down to a personal choice of if you feel that Xbox hardware no longer has value for you, if it's not doing something unique enough that separates it from the crowd, then you won't buy an Xbox. You'll build a PC or you'll buy a PlayStation or you'll buy a Switch. But you'll continue to be able to play those games. And again, with the gatekeeping stuff I've seen a lot of comments, just people like, well, why are we giving our games to PlayStation, but PlayStation isn't giving their games to us? There's no we, there's no us. That's how it's always been, number one, and obviously mid-gen, this is changing up. And just because PlayStation isn't putting things on Xbox doesn't mean that Xbox shouldn't do it. Xbox is doing it because they're trying to make money. We got to realize that they are playing a different ball game than what their competitor is currently doing. Will it work? We'll see. I have no idea if it'll work, but this is what they're going to do. And we as consumers get to make a choice on how we're going to handle that, what hardware we're going to buy, what games we want to buy. At the end of the day, if the games aren't good, none of this matters, right? So the games still have to be good for any of this to matter. So like I said, we'll see how this goes down and we'll move forward with that. And again, I know most people here want to talk about the Xbox stuff, but I'm going to flip it up. And again, people leaving super chats and stuff, I will definitely get to that. And I do appreciate that. But I want to talk about PlayStation because I know there's people that are mad at me right now because it's something I said about PlayStation. And, matter of fact, this might be a good chance for me to flip to my new format. Let me see. Let's do this. F11. And I'm going to flip it over to the other layout. Let's see what this looks like. Let's see if it works. And it did. Hooray! It worked. The other format worked. So this is the other format I have where, see, I can flip full screen. I can show screenshots. I can play video. I can do all that kind of stuff. So this is, I'm trying. I'm not a professional or anything, but I'm trying. But here's something I said. I said the sooner PlayStation can get their games day and date on PC with cross progression enabled, the better. And my God, the comments and the quote tweets and the anger over this is ridiculous to me. Because let me tell you a little secret. They're already putting their games on PC because the day and date thing, I think, is what got some people upset. But they're already putting their games on PC. So whether they come the same day as on the console or they come 6 months later, what's the difference? And it only makes sense that we're seeing them slowly creeping closer and closer to day and date, right? And I understand technical things. Obviously, Spider-Man 2 right now has had some bugs. I saw James Stevenson even put out that, they put a bug fix out for that because it was crashing on me a lot. I understand those kind of things, and that's reasonable. And clearly, PlayStation does not have the studio support and resources, right, to do day and date. But eventually they will, and that's kind of my point. What I'm really more focused on with PlayStation is the fact that they need to get cross progression. I'm not telling them they need to do what Xbox is doing as far as you buy it once and you own the game no matter what. If you want to double dip, you double dip. But if I buy a game on PC, if I decide to buy the game on PlayStation 5, right? I buy Spider-Man 2 on PlayStation 5 and then I buy Spider-Man 2 on PC. It would be nice that if I log into PSN, my saves transfer over. So I have that progression. There's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that because you obviously have to pay already for PSN on there. So if you want that ability, you're already paying for it. So enable it on PC so that all the progress that I've already done on Spider-Man 2 goes over to PC and I continue it there and vice versa. That is something Xbox does very well with Play Anywhere, and I would love to see that translate over to PlayStation. The amount of people that are angry over this it's nonsense. It's just complete nonsense. This is something that benefits you, the consumer. It is a quality of life feature that should be welcomed, that if you play on multiple devices, why wouldn't you want that? That makes no sense to me. So this is where and I've said it before, and I know people get a little grumpy at me for saying it. This is where I know social media is not real life. It's just simply not. It's not reality. The average person is not going to be upset about something like that, that they're now able to take their progress wherever they go. Ubisoft already does it with their games. CD Projekt Red does it with theirs. And like I said, Xbox is doing it with theirs. So why not have PlayStation do the same thing? This is not me telling them to put PlayStation games on Xbox. They are already putting their games on PC. I like being able to play games on PC just as much as I like playing them on console. So allow that cross progression to go. And as far as the day and date stuff goes, that is eventually going to happen. Don't think it won't. They're trying to make money. Not everybody's going to buy a PlayStation. You will have people that they will spend their $2,000-$3,000 to build their PC, and that is where they're going to play their games. So why not deliver those games to those customers day and date? Why are you making them wait 6 months to a year if you don't have to? You already know Helldivers is clearly day and date. You know Marathon's going to be day and date on PC. So if the multiplayer games are day and date on PC, why not the single player games? That's what I'm saying. So see what the chat is saying here. Paris, did I go to 0 Hour? Yes, I did go to 0 Hour. This was before I was podcasting or doing any of this stuff. I literally entered the contest that they had, and I won to enter. And I already live in Southern California, so I just drove out to Palmdale where they were doing it. Took one of my good friends with me, and yeah, man, we did the whole 24-hour thing in Palmdale and just went in that hangar and played all the Xbox 360 launch games until 9 p.m. the next night. And that's when the Best Buy trucks came in, and we got our Xbox 360s, and I got the hoodie, and I wound up getting I have two of them. I still to this day have two of them. And I got the second hoodie, and I got the bean bags, and we hopped in the car and drove home and hooked up my Xbox and was playing Perfect Dark and whatever the hell else all night. I'll never forget it. It was great. That was an amazing, honestly, to this day, that was 20 years ago now. 20 years ago. And to this day, that's still the best gaming event I've ever been to, ever. Because just for what it was at the time, the fact that you got to play all the launch games early, you're just with hundreds of other excited fans for the launch of the Xbox. I'll never forget. Matter of fact, an achievement I have, you could only get at 0 Hour. So that's like an easy way to know if someone's gone to 0 Hour, because there's an achievement that you would get only for being at 0 Hour. And it looks like I have a super chat here. And what is it saying? Hold on. And this is Brandon Martin with a $10 super chat. Hopefully, hold on. Let me expand that so I can read it. There we go. Brandon Martin with a $10 super chat. Thank you very much for that. And he's saying, "Hey, Paris, hopefully you're having a good Friday. I'd rather have Game Pass because it's cheaper and there are too many games. I'm a college student working on getting my criminal justice degree." Well, congratulations on being in college and working on that degree. Wishing you all the success. Again, thank you for the super chat. And again, that's the other part of what Xbox is doing. You have the option of using Game Pass. And then with Game Pass, obviously you're going to get these games day and date, all that, we don't even need to go over that again. But that is just another avenue of being able to invest into the Xbox ecosystem and where you're going to find value. And if you're on Ultimate, the flexibility of, I'm playing the games on console, I'm playing them on cloud, I'm playing them on PC. My progress follows me wherever I go. See, it's great. It's good for customers. What else do we have here? Yeah, Perfect Dark Zero was a disaster. It was. And I was so excited for that game, man. You have no idea how excited I was for it leading up to the launch. And I don't know if this is a little known fact or not, but that game, it came in so hot, it wasn't even certified when they put it on disc, right? The game was not certified at launch. So that's how hot that was coming in to launch. And obviously, if anybody from Xbox back in those days has seen me talk about this, if I'm wrong, you can correct me, but I'm pretty sure that's a fact. That game was not certified when they pressed it to disc. And when they shipped it, I think it wasn't certified until like literally right up until the moment of launch. And what do we have here from Danny Passion? Paris, I think having games available everywhere is great for the game and the studio making the game. Exactly. This is what Phil Spencer, look, you don't have to like Phil Spencer, believe him, whatever. But this is what he said when we interviewed him. This is exactly what he was talking about. He wants to enable creators to have the most success. How are you going to have the most success? You put your games everywhere. That's why he said something about no walls or something like that. It's what it is. I mean, that's logic. That's just common sense. I mean, put your brand loyalty aside for a second and just think about it. Having a game everywhere hurts who? Who does it hurt? Because it doesn't hurt you, the gamer, because you get to play the game. And no one should be upset that someone else gets access to that game. I've seen these straw man arguments about, oh, you're going to lower the quality and all that. You know, third-party gaming has always existed. And I'm pretty sure some of the greatest games ever made are available on multiple devices. Always has been. So I don't buy that argument that by having to develop a game for multiple devices lowers the quality of the game. Or look, it could potentially slow down its release time. I think that is a valid argument, but that depends on the maturity of the studio, the skill set, all of that. Obviously the QA, the bug testing, all of these things. But when we talk about the argument like PlayStation going to PC, pretty sure all games are developed on PC before they go to console. So you optimize on PC, you optimize on console, but obviously the studio size, again, the skill set, resources, I understand all that. And I'll take this as an example, and I don't know if this is true. This is just me speculating. When I saw that People Can Fly is helping the coalition with Gears of War E-Day, my first thought was, oh, they're coming in to help them make sure that it is optimized for multiple platforms. It would make sense. Obviously, People Can Fly had become a third-party developer, so they're used to, working on PlayStation, Xbox, PC, all of that. Obviously, the coalition knows what they're doing with Unreal 5, so I don't think they would have any issue needing help getting Gears of War E-Day ready for Xbox, but maybe People Can Fly can come in and help them get it optimized for PC, get it optimized for PlayStation, Switch, or wherever the hell else it's going to be, right? So that was kind of my thinking. This is me speculating. I don't know anything, but that was my first thought. You will obviously see more and more support studios come in to help, the primary studios get their games out on multiple platforms. I think about Bungie back in the day with Destiny 2 when they went to PC. It was, oh my God. Now I'm blanking. I know High Moon was one, but starts with a V, and I'm blanking on it. But anyways, the others two, because they don't exist anymore. But the other studio under Activision that came in to help them with the PC port on it. Because I even remember when I went to the Destiny 2 review event, and I was at Bungie, and I was talking to some of the Bungie guys and how they were, God, I'm blanking on the name of the studio, but they were working with that other studio for the PC port, to get it right. Red Misfit. I was curious, how old are you and Danny Pena? I will not speak for Danny, but I will say for me, I'm old enough. How about that? And I appreciate the super chat, brother, but I'm old. J-Dub with a 1999 super chat. What's going on, brother? Paris, I'm ecstatic to have all my PS5 games and all my Xbox games on my PS5 Pro. I support Phil in this venture. Let him cook gray late now as well. Hey, I appreciate it. And I know you're halfway tongue in cheek with that. But at the end of the day, man, yeah. Well, if they're okay with it, whatever. Like you said, a whole slate. You were right. Yeah, Vicarious Visions. Thank you for that. That was the Activision studio that was helping Bungie with Destiny. But no, J-Dub, on the real talk. I mean, yeah, you're about to get everything on the PS5 Pro. It will come. I mean, I think people need to understand that, like you're even seeing with Forza Horizon 5. We'd heard those whispers like a year ago, right? It's going to take time to port some of the older games over to a PlayStation, all that. That's why you're probably not going to see everything just a massive dump of all these games. You're going to see them come in waves. I would imagine something like Master Chief Collection is probably next. I know we've seen rumors now about this fabled Gears of War collection, which would make sense. Like, if I could pause on that, I would imagine, again, these are rumors, if Gears of War collection is real, that comes out this year. Because next year is the 20-year anniversary of Gears of War. You put E-Day out with the 20-year anniversary in 2026. But you get everybody caught up because, again, it's going to be multi-platform. I would imagine it's on PlayStation, it's on Switch, obviously PC and Xbox. You put that out this year, and then Everyone now gets to play Gears of War and kind of get caught up on Gears of War and the story, and people that have never played Gears of War understand that world and, you know, all the motivations of the world of Sarah and the Locust and everything, right? Marcus Phoenix, Dom, etc. And then Gears of War E-Day drops 2026. Now everybody's excited for it on all platforms. That's what Xbox is doing. Like I said, take your brand loyalty aside. That's what Xbox is doing, and it makes a lot of sense. Pretty sure they're going to do the same thing with Halo. Master Chief Collection drops. Get everyone that's never played Halo. Get them understanding Master Chief and Cortana and Sergeant Johnson and the Covenant and the Arbiter and all that stuff. The multiplayer. Understand the world of Halo. And then they're probably going to drop that Halo CE remake. I don't know, 2026, 2027 up in there somewhere as well, right? All platforms. That's where we are. It's what's happening. So, you know, it's the reality we're in, and like it or not, it is what Xbox is doing. So appreciate that, J-Dub. John Wright with a $10 super chat. I appreciate that. Is a pre-built 5080 PC worth the money? No, I will always say, if you have the technical skill, build your own PC. It's not that hard. You can go on YouTube and understand what parts that you need and being able to put it together. PC building's gotten a lot easier in the last 10 years to the point it's almost modular. Now, I will say, for full disclosure, my main PC is an NZXT PC because they sponsored me and they sent it to me. But the PC my daughter has is the one I built myself, and that one's a beast too. I have no problem building my own PC. That's easy to do, easy enough to do, I should say, for myself. And I understand that not everyone can do that. If you don't have the technical means to do it, go check out Power GPU. Jesse and those guys, really good dude. They're awesome. I've worked with them in the past as well. Great people. They do quality work, reasonable price for that. So that'd be my suggestion for you. And let me catch up on these other super chats here. Buck with a $10, and let me scale that out here. Let me grab Buck. Buck with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much. With the amount of games Xbox is putting on PlayStation, why isn't it fair as Xbox consumers to expect Phil to negotiate to get a few PlayStation first party exclusives to Xbox, and PlayStation stop money adding third party? Why isn't that fair? Life isn't fair. I mean, that is my simple grown ass adult answer to you. Life is not fair. So you cannot have that expectation. You just don't. You can't. If it happens, great. I would love to see it, but it's not realistic, because if that is not PlayStation's business model, if they don't think that makes sense to them, they're not going to do it, and they have no incentive to do so. Xbox is the one that is doing this. Xbox is the one that is saying, we're going to put our games everywhere. We're going to put our games on PlayStation. We're going to put them on Switch along with PC. Clearly, PlayStation is testing with PC right now. They don't have the same incentive. They just don't. So I understand. I see this a lot, saying, is it fair or not? Nothing's fair in life. And if PlayStation doesn't want to do it, they're not going to do it. And if all of a sudden, and again, I'm not in those boardrooms. I don't know what happens. I don't know if those conversations have happened. But if PlayStation were to say, no, we're not putting The Last of Us or Spider-Man on Xbox, what is Phil going to do? Well, then now I'm going to tank our entire plan that we have because we're not getting one or two PlayStation games. Not realistic. They're not doing that. Again, it's the money game. If Microsoft is making a ton of money doing this, and PlayStation decides, well, we're good where we are financially, we don't need to do that, then they're not going to do it. You just got to look at it that way. So I hope that answers that. And I appreciate all these super chats. I really do. And let me go back and look. Excuse me. Gigs with a $10 Canadian. Microsoft will make excuses to move away from hardware. I get studios and PlayStation players gained, but not Xbox players. For most people who have to pick one device for a maximum of games, Xbox is no longer an option. And I agree with that. I don't agree with the first part of it about making excuses to move away from hardware. This is what I will say. I will take the man at his word until he gives me a reason to no longer believe him. I asked him straight up, if you're putting all these games everywhere, why am I buying your hardware? And he gave an answer. Like it or not, that is his answer. Their answer seems to be innovation. Let's see what it's going to be. Again, I apologize. I'm still getting over being sick here, but let's see. Let's see what the hardware is. I think at this point, if they were to pull out a hardware after promising it over and over the past, 18 months or so, that'd be very disingenuous of them. And then that I agree. And I think people legitimately should be upset about that. But let's see what their hardware plan is going to be. Let's see what the handheld looks like. But to your point about most people can only afford one device. So if you can only afford one device, guess what? You're probably going to buy the device where you can play the most games. So if I can only buy one console and I like PlayStation games, I'm probably buying a PlayStation because I can play PlayStation games and I get the Xbox games, or vice versa with the Switch. If I love Mario, I'm buying a Switch, and as many Xbox games that can run on that hardware, I get those too. But, if you want to maximize and have access to everything, then you're probably, here's the realistic scenario. If you want to have access to everything going into the next generation, it sounds like you would get a PlayStation and you would get a Switch. You wouldn't get an Xbox. So Xbox as a consumer, as a customer, they have to show me a reason why I want to buy an Xbox. You got to do something with that hardware to make me say, I want this hardware despite certain games not being available on it. Just think of it that way. And what we got here with Danny Passion. Danny Passion with a $2. You're saying if next Xbox runs Windows, PlayStation gamers will be on Xbox, potentially. And I know Destin kind of slickly asked him about that and got a smirk out of Phil, but we'll see. We'll see what this thing is going to be. If there's if it's an open platform that basically has a desktop layer that allows you to install Steam or the Epic Store, in that reality, sure, you can buy PlayStation games on Steam or Epic and you can play them on that device. So you look at it that way. And was that all the super chats here? I think it was for now. And again, I appreciate everyone that has sent them. And let me just put this on the live chat so I make sure I got everything. I don't think I was seeing everything in real time. But yeah, I appreciate everybody here, man. I really do. And, just the conversation we're having. And like I said, I get it. A bunch of weird shit's happening right now. It is drastically changing, and Xbox is being the instigator of that, right? More so than anybody else. It's weird. I get it. I've talked about it before. I know I've said a lot of things, but we just have to see. We have to see if it works, because nobody truly knows. I don't even think Xbox truly knows, other than they are maximizing. Wait a minute. What, Bo, dude? If you send a super chat, maybe I didn't see it. Hold on a second. I don't want to miss it if you sent it. And if I did, I do apologize. Do this for me, please. Repeat what you said. Again, I'm new to all this shit. I'm actually looking at the chat within Streamlabs, so maybe it didn't come up that way. So if I missed it, I do apologize. And let me take a look at this here. Like I said, I am still learning. I'm still learning how to do all this stuff. So I apologize if I miss something. And I am not seeing. I'm looking for it and I'm not seeing it. So I do apologize. Yeah, people laughing at me. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying to figure out this live streaming stuff as it is. PlayStation been losing games. Arctic says he sees it. Why am I not seeing it? I'm looking. Oh, I do see it now. Now I see it. See, I'm going to look over here and I'm going to read it. And Wobadude with a $5 super chat. He's saying, hey, Paris, what is your favorite video game genre? Personally, I'm a big fan of 3D platformers. Hopefully we get a new Banjo-Kazooie one day. I'm with you on that. I hope one day we do get a Banjo-Kazooie game one day. And to your point, platformers is probably my favorite genre. I love a great platformer. That's why I would say Super Mario Brothers 3 is the greatest video game ever made. The fact that game came out in 1989 or 90, depending on where you are in the world, still holds up to this day, which is wild. Absolutely wild. And like I've said a million times, Astrobot is the game of the year of 2024 for everything that I've always talked about that I love about 3D Mario. And Danny Passion with a $5 super chat again. And you're saying at this moment, there's only one PlayStation 5 exclusive on PlayStation, and that's Astrobot. Everything else is on PC already. Are you? I think you're right. I think you're right about that. I'm trying to think of something that's not on PC other than Astrobot. I think you're right. XCast and Captain Chats with a $2 pound saying, what time are you doing XCast today? It will be at 11 a.m. Pacific, typically whenever they end KFGD, usually maybe about 10 or 15 minutes after the hour we'll go live. But yeah, we're doing an XCast reunion. That's why I'm wearing my XCast hoodie, but we're doing an XCast reunion, and we're going to kind of talk about the life cycle of Xbox the rest of the way. I would imagine we're probably going to get into some conversations about, you know, what's been going on obviously recently. I know Snowbike Mike did the Gamecast the other day, just talking about, you know, his uncertainty about the future of Xbox. So I'm sure we'll get into that. And Michael Shipley with a $5, and this looks to be your first super chat. So thank you so much for that. Don't forget Game Pass. Even if Xbox games will be on PlayStation, you're going to be paying $70 for new games. Yes, you will want Xbox hardware. And I agree. And that's a great point. Again, probably some of the differentiator that Xbox is going to have, it will be Game Pass, and the flexibility of, if you do buy a game in their digital store, you buy it once and you instantly get access on multiple devices. But if you want those devices to also be a Switch or a PlayStation, you're going to have to spend $70. That's going to be the difference. So yes, look, hardcore people are still going to buy Xbox hardware. And this is why, going back to the other comment about, and just asking where you can watch XCast on Kind of Funny Games on YouTube. I don't know if someone want to drop a link in there, but that's the thing. You will still have a hardcore audience that's going to want Xbox hardware. And that's why that other super chat I had doubting that they would still deliver hardware, they're still going to make hardware. And I'm telling you right now, if that handheld gives me access to my entire, if it is true, not PC Xbox, not the Xbox app on PC. If that handheld is an Xbox and I have access to my entire first and third party digital library on that handheld, I'm buying it. 100% I'm buying it. That is something I would want. 100%. That is something that will now have an advantage over Steam Deck, Rogue Ally, Lenovo, all of that. That would be very desirable to me, because now I know I truly have access to all my games. It does Game Pass native, everything. That's something I would want. So that's why I'm saying, again, let's see where we are in the next 18 to 24 months whenever this hardware does come out, because like I said before, got a sneaking feeling they're going to tease it this year. Why not? Especially with all these changes, kind of let people know what's coming down the road so that, again, we can make informed decisions on where we're going to buy our games moving forward. That is the conundrum that they're in. This change now where you're going to be a fork in the road at that next generation, where you're going to decide, I'm just going to stick with PlayStation. I'll just spend $70 on the Xbox games I want to play, and I'm going to go there. Or you go, you know what? I'm still going to buy Xbox hardware. I'm still going to subscribe to Game Pass. I still want that flexibility. And if there are some PlayStation games I want, I'll buy PlayStation 6 and I'll buy them, you know, individually. Who knows? I know for me, like I said, a handheld would definitely be something I would be interested in. Let's see what the console is going to look like. Is it a hybrid? Whatever. Obviously, I'm not going to stop playing games on PC. Yeah, I'm going to get a PlayStation. Of course I am. Why wouldn't I? I want to play PlayStation games. And then Switch 2 is day one for me. So I'm probably still going to do what I've always done and buy them all. But that's just me. I know not everyone can or will want to do that, but we will see here, probably, like I said, in the next 18 to 24 months, how that's going to go. And MC to Keep with a $4.99 super chat. And again, you're first as well. So thank you so much for that. And that's it. I guess you're just saying that. You're not saying anything in that. So thank you for that. I appreciate the support on that. Like I said, as I dive into doing more of these live stream things, let's just see where it goes. And I'm actually looking now. I got almost 300 people watching me on here, which is insane. Insane. Share it out to your friends. Tell them to come look at my sick ass on screen if they want to. But I know I'm just riffing on here, like I said, about the Forza stuff, obviously the PlayStation stuff on PC, the new strategy, all of that. And Antonio is saying, Paris, I'm busy editing right now, but I wanted to pop in and say what's up. It's funny you're talking about this right now, as the short reel I'm making is saying the same stuff. Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people are obviously talking about that. This is a very hot topic that's going on. I'm gonna say this because I was actually on Black Vikings live stream yesterday and I mentioned it. So obviously I still post on Twitter, right? But I also post on Blue Sky. And just so you know, Twitter, I expect chaos. 100% expect it. That's why I don't respond to 99% of it. I know people are going to say crazy shit to me. Blue Sky, I am a little more personal on there, right? About my thoughts and feelings on things because new platform, it's just different than Twitter. Your mileage may vary however you feel. Point is this. Had someone come on Blue Sky and literally demand what I should have been asking Phil Spencer and how I should be talking about the Xbox community and all that. I'll tell you right now, don't do that shit. I will literally just block you right away because my opinion is my opinion. How I feel about something is how I feel about something. I'm not asking you to feel the same way, but don't demand I feel the way that you do. Don't ever do that. You can disagree with me all you want, but don't tell me what I should and should not be doing on my platform or what I post on social media or the videos I make or whatever, because regardless if you agree with it or not, it's still my opinion. Same as I'm never going to tell you what your opinion should be. We can obviously agree to disagree. So just putting that out there. But what we got here? Savar Riddler 7. I hope I'm saying that correctly. I don't know what MX is, but it's a $49 MX. And this is saying, hi, Steam on Xbox is the only way to save the hardware. Sounds like they're going to do something like that, man. It really does. It sounds like it's going to be open, that Steam basically open. PC digital stores will be an option on this thing. It sounds like that's where they're headed. And again, your choice. So if you've already invested in your Steam digital library, you will still have access on that hardware. I don't think that's a bad thing. I champion it. Obviously, I welcome it. And Ray's Gaming Lair, I think this is a 6'9" Canadian. Wasn't angry on my question on X, just wanted to understand your honest opinion. FYI, big fan of your work. Keep at it. And let me be clear. I'm actually, Ray, I'm glad you're here. I didn't quote tweet you to like, oh, you were wrong or anything. I was just genuinely answering your question. And what I was saying, well, let me see if I can find it here. Hold on. Let me see if I can find that really quick. Let me try and find it really quick. Of course, I can't find it really quick. I'm not going to look for it. But the point I just said on that one was I was talking about PlayStation progression, like cross progression between PC and console. It's good for us. I see no negative in that. We can argue day and day till the cows come home. But as far as cross progression goes, yeah, if you want me to sign in the PSN on PC, allow me to take full advantage of the PSN that I already paid for and give me cloud saves on PC. That is what I'm saying. It's not a bad thing. And the fact that your competitors are doing it, yeah, I think you should. That's just me. It is a quality of life feature that I want. I'll use another example. I'm playing God of War Ragnarok on PS5 in my living room. It sure as hell would be nice to then walk into my office on my PC and continue to pick up my progress for God of War Ragnarok. That is what I'm talking about. I don't see that being a bad thing for anyone, but I do appreciate you coming in the chat and clarifying that. And again, I want to also be clear on social media. I try not to, quote unquote, go after people or do anything crazy on there. I mean, can I be petty sometimes and snarky? Of course I can. But just so you know, and I'm sure if anyone looks at my timeline, I mean, people say the craziest shit to me all the time. I try to ignore it most times. But typically, if I'm quote tweeting someone, I'm not attacking you. I'm just answering the question. So I'm answering it not only for you, but for everybody. And then obviously the conversation can go there. Let's see. And Sin, I saw your post about playing Avowed. How are you allowed to speak on performance? I'm not allowed to say anything about Avowed until February 13th at 6 a.m. Pacific. And I'll leave it at that. You can go find information out there if you so choose, but I am not confirming or denying any of it. But I appreciate the question. And Sean, McAlpine, I'm surprised how much I like the PS Portal. I think an Xbox thing like that would do well if they come out with a dedicated piece of hardware. I mean, it's funny because I reviewed the Portal when it initially came out, and it was having some Wi-Fi issues and things and a little bit of lag. It has definitely improved, over the last year and a half, or however long it's been, updates, things like that, to where, yeah, I think it's a pretty popular device. I think it's one of their top sellers as far as accessories go. I almost did something. I'm not going to address that one. But going back to the Portal, yeah, and you can tell Xbox isn't going to just do that to where it's just a cloud device. The way the Portal is, they're going to do something that is going to allow you to play natively on a handheld, which would obviously emulate everything that the Portal does. But now you can take it on the go and play wherever you want. Look, the Switch changed the game. Nintendo changed the game with the Switch. It showed that AAA gaming can work on a handheld. And we've obviously seen Valve replicate that on the PC side with the Steam Deck. We've obviously seen the third-party variants of that from Asus and MSI and all that. And now Xbox is going to jump into it. And I would imagine, I know PlayStation has hinted at it, PlayStation probably in the PS6 era is also going to do something similar as well. They'll literally bring back the Vita, I guess, but make it updated, very similar to the Portal. And Stanley Buffington with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much. How much is this open Xbox going to cost? No way they're going to subsidize it. Again, listen to stuff that Phil Spencer says. He said this a year ago at GDC. It is getting harder to subsidize these things, AKA, and then Satya Nadella, even in this financial call just the other day, they ain't subsidizing stuff no more. You know how much it's going to cost? A lot. That's how much it's going to cost, which again, you don't have to buy. You can go get another device and still play Xbox games. But I would imagine the starting price on these things start at $700 and go up. And if they do license it out to other vendors so that there are third-party certified Xbox hardware out there, the price is going to scale. You'll see some that go super high for performance. That'll be very costly, like a high-end PC. You might see some cheaper with lower performance. So I think you're going to see a variety of devices across the price spectrum for that. But the official Microsoft one, yeah, I don't expect it to be that cheap anymore, especially if it's open, because it's essentially a PC at that point. Yeah, you really do like your Rogue Ally for Game Pass stuff. I do too, ironically enough. And do I have it? Yeah, I got it right here. I actually took Windows off of mine. I'm just running Bazite on it now. So I'm not doing native Windows Game Pass anything on it. And I guess the battery's dead. But yeah, I just because I wanted to tinker with it, I put Bazite on mine, which is essentially Steam OS. So I'm running Steam OS on my Rogue Ally. Works great. Rogue Ally to Windows, it's usable, but it's essentially just a Windows desktop. And, I know there's the Armor Crate and all that. You can access everything, but I want a more simplified UI for it. And I talked about that with Phil Spencer as well, and he agreed. So they're going to get there. It'll be interesting to see what we see on the handheld front from them, both on their first party hardware and what they'll be able to do with third parties. But I appreciate the super chat. And where are we at on time? I'm probably going to do this about 15 more minutes. I want to keep this to around an hour. But again, I appreciate everyone hanging out with me on here. And like I said, we're just talking. We're just having a conversation about gaming. Like I said, tune in later on Kind of Funny. We'll be doing XCast. Me, Mike, Gary will be talking about Xbox and their life cycle. That'll be a lot of fun as well. And let's see, where are we at on the chat? Yeah, like Peak, you're saying if it costs $800 plus, I think it'll be a tough sell for most consumers. I don't disagree on that. It will be. Hell, $700 right now for the PS5 Pro is a tough sell for a lot of people, but it's the world we're in now. It's where this hardware costs, like this is the first generation where costs didn't go down, they've gone up. Think about that. We're going into what, year 5 of this console generation, right? My math is right. Year 4, year 5, and it costs more to buy these things. It hasn't gotten cheaper. That's crazy. It's supposed to lower, not go up. So I just think this is a peek into where it's headed for hardware. I mean, PS6 hell is probably going to start at $600-$700 going into the next gen as well. And you're saying if no exclusive games, why buy an Xbox? Phil Spencer exclusive features. Maybe so. And that's what I mean. That's what he talked about, the innovation. Let's see what it is. I mean, I have no freaking clue what it is, but let's see what they do. When are we going to see you on Kind of Funny Game Showdown? You know, it'll come down to if I'm in the studio that week when they do it, because what they typically do on like a Friday or something. Usually when I am able to be in the studio, it's usually earlier in the week. But I know it'll happen eventually one day. Like I definitely want to be in studio more when I can, but you know, as my schedule allows, you know, so there's always an open door for me with those guys. Again, just love Kind of Funny. I just love that the fact that I'm still able to be a part of it, even though I'm remote, and you know, they just welcome me with open arms, and you know, they always give me the green light. Anything I want to do, any suggestions, content I want to be a part of, they're always open to me being on it. Because like as an example, talking about Avowed, I'll do my own Avowed review on this channel, but I'll also be on Kind of Funny's review for Avowed as well. And I think handheld with OLED at $700 is perfect. Oof, I wouldn't hold my breath for OLED, at least not right away. Very similar to the Switch 2. That Switch 2 won't be OLED at launch. It'll be an LED or LCD or whatever the hell. But you'll probably later on get an OLED model, you know, that might cost a little more, or if prices go down, be at the same price. But I would imagine at launch, whatever the Xbox handheld will be, you know, they'll just do like an IPS panel or something like that. It won't be OLED. Some don't let Tim hear you say that. I don't know. I lost context on that one. Let's see. Hoping for a PS4 Portal OLED one day. That definitely could happen. I could see them upgrading the Portal and doing something like that eventually. Obviously, as popular as the Portal is, you'll get some people to double dip that has already bought one. They'll go buy another one. And Demon Time Reezy, good morning. Saying good morning to me. Good morning to you, sir. And where we at here? So, like I said, about 12 more minutes. I'll be on here. So, again, I appreciate everyone hanging out. I appreciate, again, all the comments that I've been getting on here, the super chats, everything. Like I said, I hope people like the layout that I have. Like I said, just trying to make it cleaner, look better. You know, hold on. I am getting a message on Discord, and I will answer that one. And when I'm done offline here, the only other thing I still need to test on here, and I keep telling Danny, I was like, I need you to help me on this. I want to test Discord chat as well. Just I want to make sure that audio comes in, because I have other panels where I can bring like other people, you know, into the screen, like 2-3 people, all that. I want to test out all that, the video, the audio, all that. Well, Diggity, am I on the next showcase? Doubtful. And even if I was on the next showcase, that can't even talk. The bat signal has not been raised yet, so I would have no idea. And even if I did know, I couldn't tell you. Put it that way. But no, I highly doubt it at this point that I would be on the showcase. I just think the format that they've gone to, and you know, everything that Tina and her team has done, they've done an amazing job. They don't need me. Let's just put it that way. And then Dylan's saying, hey, Paris, really happy you're doing these streams. I've been following you for a long time and love all the content you do. Keep it up. Hey, thank you. Appreciate that. And I'm still trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? I know this isn't perfect just yet, but trying to get the format down, and you know, we'll see where we go. And then Ray's Gaming Layer with a $13.99 Canadian is saying, I totally agree with having cross save and all that, but having single player day ones kills the system. And unlike Microsoft, who has Windows, can Nintendo and Sony honestly survive without the console? And that's the biggest argument on that. And you have a valid concern on that. I guess my pushback on that would be people that play these games on PC aren't buying the console. They're not buying them anyways. So why are you making them wait? They weren't going to buy it on PlayStation 5 anyways, because they don't own a PlayStation 5. They have a PC that they've probably invested thousands of dollars into, and that's where they want to play their games. So why not bring the games to them when it comes out versus waiting? That's all I'm saying. And it's pretty clear they're inching closer and closer to that reality. So I'm not like making this up or pulling it out of thin air. They clearly have a program for PC. And I do think day and date eventually will happen. I truly believe that. But I appreciate the super chat. Thank you. And what else do we have here? And let me see. Demon Time is saying, do you think Forza on PlayStation diminishes Gran Turismo? Not Horizon, because Horizon's more arcade. It'll be interesting when Forza Motorsport comes to PlayStation. What will that do, if anything? I think the competition, Polyphony, will up their game even more. So I look forward to it. Competition's great. Why not? Let's get Forza Motorsport on PlayStation along with Gran Turismo, and let's see which is truly the best racing sim. Then we'll know. We will definitively know, because the sales numbers will tell us if who's the best racing sim. So I look forward to something like that. But appreciate the super chat. And I think I have a volunteer for Discord. So we might be testing out audio here. Let me put on some headphones so I can hear. Let's see. And I think, all right, let me see if he is on Discord. All right, I'm waiting on that. So yeah, I just want to make sure the audio works, because I've been tinkering with all these settings. So I just want to make sure that I got it right. I see folks comparing Forza Horizon and GT, but I'm not sure they're comparable. They're opposite. Yeah, exactly. Forza Horizon is an arcade racer. It's not a sim. Like I said before, it would be Forza Motorsport. That's what you would need to look for. Ray with the $5. There's only one true Ray. What game that is coming out that you feel is a game of the year contender? That's a good question. I am going to stick by something I've said at the beginning of the year. I give you two games. I think Ghost of Yotai, however you say it, and I think Fable. That'd be my early ones right now. Who knows with GTA 6 and all that kind of stuff, but I'm gonna say that. And love you, Ray. Appreciate you being in here. Let me see. Am I getting? All right, accept that. Accept. All right, I'm going to see if I can bring someone in here for. Let's see if it works. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hey, now can the chat hear you? That is the big question. We'll find out in just a second. How you
Not
doing?
hearing you through Discord if you're talking.
You don't hear me. He doesn't hear me. He doesn't hear me. All right, let me fix this here. Why don't you hear me? I will fix that in a hot second. I bet you hear me now.
Hello.
Yep. How you doing?
Good. I can delete the message. Can't hear you right now if you're talking.
Yeah. So it was telling me to turn off slow mode. Yeah, I purposely put slow mode on there so it wasn't all spammed out. Here, I'm even gonna switch scenes and let's see what that looks like. I want to see what it looks like. See, there you are. People can see you.
Am I on the stream? Hello.
You're literally on the stream right now.
Hi, chat.
Yep. And I'm assuming everybody hears Tucker just fine, right? I just want to confirm. And yeah, I should have turned off slow mode. Yeah, it said it looks great. All right. No, that's great. And by the way, Tucker, the layout that you're looking at, all of this was all Tucker. He did this because I have no talent at all. My talent is literally just running my mouth. That's the only thing I'm good at. So he did this. I appreciate you doing this. It's awesome, man. And obviously we'll continue to tweak it and get better at this. But I am glad that this basic function right here of I got you on video, I got you on Discord with the audio. So it's like if we were just having a conversation about gaming, we can go from there. Let me read the super chat really quick. Star that baby with a $2 saying Paris and King, the two big bro OGs, love and respect. Yeah, love you too, man. Appreciate that. And I'm assuming you're talking about King David, which I got to meet him in person at Summer Game Fest last year. Love that dude to death. He's great. He's hilarious. He's crazy with some of his takes, but he's a good dude. Really good dude. So how you doing, Tucker?
Doing great. Yep. Been doing some work for Danny this morning.
Yeah.
And
don't do that. Don't do that.
You know what? Chat. Whose side should I take? I'm new to this whole dynamic here, and we can put a little poll in the chat. We can put a poll on Twitter. Whose side should I take in this war? Maybe they'll need to fight for my side. We'll see what happens. Yeah. I'm not picking a side right now.
No, because I've legitimately been asking him all week, hey man, I just need you to hop on Discord so I can test the live stream. And then he just sends me mean messages and won't do it. So screw that guy. So you don't, I shouldn't say you don't. You've been obviously watching the stream.
Yes, yeah. I was
The
taking a walk and I was
conversation.
listening, and I'm like, hey, I might be able to help. So I just kind of came home and
Yeah. But your thoughts on just what I've been talking about? Do you agree, disagree, right, wrong? What do you think?
I think I'm pretty much on your side for most of it, primarily because I'm a across the industry gamer. I don't know if you can see it behind me. I've got all sorts of consoles. I've got my PS5, Series X, Switch OLED over there. You know, I'm on a PC that I just built for myself last year. I am a student of the industry, I call myself, and just generally of games history and stuff. So I want access to as many games as I can, and I'm a fan of all of them, not equally, but in some regard. So having games everywhere is better for me, and I've always found it very tough, especially recently, to understand the mindset of someone who is upset about games going elsewhere, just because there are plenty of great games that are across plenty of platforms. And that has been objectively proven for most of games history.
Yeah.
So that is something I fully agree with. Is I'm going to play the games on their home platform of choice. I kind of get interesting energy out of like following the ecosystems as they evolve, playing all the Xbox published games on my Xbox, all my Sony games on my PlayStation. But I want other people to play them as well, so I can talk to them about the games. Like that to me is what matters really. Is like, can other people play it so we can build a community around it and then communicate about it, share our perspectives. PlayStation players who have been playing just Gran Turismo for 20 years, getting to play Forza Horizon 5, which is a great game, they're going to bring a unique perspective to it. Same with Switch players who are mostly into Mario Kart. Like, there's going to be some sort of conversational cross-pollination going on here that I think will really benefit all sides of the conversation. And it's also just scary because it's new. 15 years from now, no one's going to care. No one still complains that Sega puts their games on multiple consoles now, even though they were making systems, 25 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So it's literally just because it's happening right now that people are sort of fighting back against it. But there is a normalization that will happen. It is inevitable.
No, completely agree. 100% agree. And that's the thing. No one likes change.
Yeah.
At some point, this is why I said yesterday, you got to rip the Band-Aid. They ripped the Band-Aid off. You're always going to have detractors to this. You're always going to have skeptics to this. Again, you can take Phil Spencer at his word. You cannot believe him or whatever, but essentially everything that you said is what he was talking about. And ultimately that, like, as many people as I saw complain about Forza Horizon 5 going to PlayStation, I saw just as many people, if not more, excited that it was going to PlayStation. And that's the whole point on this, is more people playing games and playing them together and access to it. And I use this as an example. I know it's a little extreme, but Astrobot. I have been since September saying it's the game of the year, right? Obviously, it's won multiple awards as the game of the year. But what have we found? And who knows what the exact number is now, but let's just say for argument's sake, 2 million people bought Astrobot. Mm-hmm. You can't tell me if Astrobot was on Switch and on PC and on Xbox, you would only have 2 million people that would play it. You would have more people buying it. And that's the whole point. Is
it was in Nintendo Directs and stuff, and Summer Game Fest, and like was showing up in more places. Absolutely, more people would be aware of it, and then more people would buy it. And I think what also people, I think, really don't consider when it comes to like day and date stuff is part of the reason why some ports of PlayStation games might do a little bit worse is because a lot of people, the energy has certainly been lost from a game being new. We're looking at Spider-Man 2's Steam numbers being fine, but not particularly great. If that game came out day and date on PC, millions more people would have played it around launch. Mm-hmm. I think that's undeniable.
Completely agree on that. So, it's the new future. It's what's happening. Obviously, I know I'm been very vocal about it, and people may not agree with me, and that's fine. Yeah. But as I said at the top, it's happening whether you like it or not, and we'll see how it plays out. I will just say, and I'm going to wrap this up now because we're at the top of the hour. I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate all your help that you've helped me with the channel as I continue to figure this out and try and improve it. But I'll just say as I end this, I appreciate everyone that's been in the chat. I appreciate all the comments and everything that people have had. It's video games at the end of the day, man. I I would rather focus on the games and their quality and the fun that I'm having with them than all the business side of it and all that. Because at the end of the day, none of us control what happens. These companies, these corporations are going to do what's best for them to make the most money for them. And clearly, they're all taking a different approach now. And in a weird way, that's exciting to see them not all just do the same thing. They're all trying different things. Let's see which one works. You just leave it at that. So,
and that's part of the reason for me why I find this generation so fascinating is because from the get-go, with Xbox having full backing pat since day one and full Game Pass support since day one, and PlayStation doing what they're doing, of course, with cross generation for PS4 and Nintendo operating in their own silo, I think this generation, early on especially, every ecosystem offered something very different, which is only kind of true for Xbox One and PS4, and only kind of true for PS3 and 360. Like there was so much cross pollination between those systems in the past. I found it a lot more fascinating to exist in both the Xbox and PlayStation and Nintendo ecosystems because I was getting markedly different experiences from each of them. For Xbox, it was because there weren't that many games that Microsoft was publishing for the first few years, but the promise was always there, and now we're sort of seeing that come to fruition. So very excited about this year for basically all of them.
Yep, completely agree. Well, hey, Tucker, again, thank you for hopping on here with me. Again, like I said, I appreciate all your help and appreciate you bringing some insight here at the end from your point of view. And I am definitely looking to doing more of these. I got an hour now before we're going to do XCast, so I'm going to sign off. I will advise everyone, go over to Kind of Funny Games, check out KFGD right now. And then after that, XCast reunion, Snowbike Mike, Gary Witta, myself, we'll be talking Xbox. It should be fun. So until then, thank you all for the support here on the channel. Let's keep it up. And I will talk to you again real soon.